Hello, this is Asada from Precision. It's still cold in Japan, but the early blooming cherry blossoms started to bloom a little while ago. This image shows the early blooming cherry blossoms. Like last week, this time is the second part of the Japanese language practice for when you travel to Japan. First, let's review from last time. Please try to speak the English I speak in Japanese. The first one is here. Excuse me or I'm sorry. Do you remember how to say it? That's right. すみません. Next is hello. That's right. It's こんにちは. Next is thank you very much. That's right. It's ありがとうございます. Next is yes. That's right. It's はい. Next is no. That's right. It's いいえ. Next is where is the bathroom? That's right. It's トイレはどこですか? Next is please help me. Important word. That's right. It's 助けてください. Well done. Now let's move on to today's new phrases. Now, if you ever get lost, please say this. すみません. 道に迷いました. Then you will likely be asked where you want to go. You can say 東京駅に行きたいです. It is okay to omit the last des. Adding des or must at the end of the sentence makes it polite, but it can be difficult to use at first, so it's okay not to use it. Now let me pronounce it first for you. 道に迷いました. 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 The Japanese person you asked will probably explain in various ways. Sometimes someone might even take you to the station. As I explained before, there is a culture in Japan of helping those in trouble. This tendency is especially strong in the countryside compared to the cities. I have been to about 20 countries for travel and work, and I feel this tendency is the same all over the world. By the way, in Japan, there are police boxes with officers always stationed near stations. Officers handle more than just incidents and accidents. They often stand in the front of the police box to talk to people in the town. And you can ask those officers for direction. It's quite normal for Japanese people ask police officers at the police box for direction when they don't know where to go after getting off the train. Especially in the city, there are many officers at the police box, so many people ask for direction. And the officers will kindly tell you. If you are lost and find a police box nearby, it's a good idea to ask officer for directions. Now please repeat after me 3 times. 道に迷いました. 道 道に迷いました。道に迷いました。Actually, my friend is practicing this pronunciation. Please listen.
道に迷いました。
This pronunciation is perfect. Next is, can you speak English? Of course, you can ask in English, but this way the Japanese person will feel more at ease. And if they can't speak English, they might wave their hand like this. In that case, understand that they can't speak English. Now, let me pronounce it first for you. 英語を話せますか？英語を話せますか？英語を話せますか？ Actually, there are people who can speak English to some extent, but there are various reasons why they don't speak it. There are cases where they can speak English but don't because they are unsure if it will be understood by foreigners. And there are cases where they can speak but don't want to be heard by other Japanese people around them. In those cases, there is a feeling of embarrassment that even though they are somewhat confident in their English pronunciation, it may not be understood by a foreigner and they would feel embarrassed in front of other Japanese. In any cases, the cause is that they are not confident whether their English will be understood by a foreigner. One reason for this is that many people in Japan live without needing to speak English. Another way to put it is that since they rarely have the opportunity to speak directly with foreigners, they hesitate to speak. Recently, the number of foreign companies has gradually increased, but the fact that there are still many companies run by Japanese people influence this. Another factor is that Japanese people tend to take responsibility for what they say. Many people feel sorry for the person they are telling if they use English, which they are not used to, and convey something wrong. Especially Japanese people are complex about not being able to pronounce English. To be honest, my pronunciation is still not good, I know. I'm still practicing. Let's try saying it 3 times. 英語を話せますか？英語を話せますか？英語を話せますか？ Next is my friend's pronunciation.
英語を話せますか？
Good, isn't it? Next is わかりません。When you speak to Japanese people, you might be asked わかりますか? This means, do you understand what I just say? Many Japanese people don't want to convey the wrong things and will ask if the other person understood. If you understood, you would say わかりました。It's meaning I understood. But you can also use this gesture. That's fine too. However, if you don't understand, you should say わかりません。Now, I will pronounce it for you. わかりません。わかりません。わかりません。By this way, Japanese people dislike using negative expression. In daily life, when asked, "Did you understand?" many people who don't quite understand will say, "I understood," and then ask someone else later. This is to avoid discomforting the other persons or appearing to lack knowledge themselves. It can be said to reflect the cultural trait of valuing social harmony and maintaining relationships in Japan. This style of communication can be misunderstood in cultures outside of Japan. However, it is very common in Japan and important element in maintaining smooth interpersonal relationships. Let's practice 3 times after me. わかりません。わかりません。わかりません。Next is my friend's pronunciation.
わかりません。
Great. Next is how do I get to the airport? In Japan, there are several ways to get to the airport. The common ones are by train, bus, or taxi. Many people use the train. The reason is that it is cheap and the departure and arrival times are accurate. You may know this, but the Japanese train operations are very precise. Unless there is some accident, there are no delays, even by minutes. For this reason, I recommend you be on the platform a few minutes before your departure time. Taxis are not used by many people for the following 2 reasons. First, taxi fares are more expensive than the trains or buses. And second, there is the unpredictability of traffic jams on the way to the airport. There are dedicated limousine buses to the airport. They are comfortable, cheaper than taxis, but there is still the worry of unpredictable traffic jams. Now let me pronounce it first for you. 空港までどうやって行きますか？空港までどうやって行きますか？空港までどうやって行きますか？ In this sentence, 空港 means airport, so you can change just this part and use it a very versatile word. For example, if you want to go to Tokyo Station, in that case, you can ask like this. 東京駅までどうやって行きますか? If you are near this station, they will likely give you directions. Probably you will understand some landmark and which way to turn by gestures. If you really can't understand, Google Translate will translate it accurately for you. Let's practice 3 times after me. 空港までどうやって行きますか？空港までどうやって行きますか？空港までどうやって行きますか？ Next is my friend's pronunciation.
空港までどうやって行きますか？
That's nice. Next is what time does the train leave? In Japan, especially at large stations in cities like Tokyo, the departure board often display destinations and departure time in English. There are set up 1 or 2 places in this station. What you should watch out for is which train you are getting on, Rapid, Express, Limited Express, or local. Rapid, Express, and Limited Express trains might not stop at the stations you want to get off at. For example, even if they are going to the same destination, there are stations that only local trains will stop at. So please pay attention. Now I will try to pronounce it first. 電車は何時に出ますか？電車は何時に出ますか？電車は何時に出ますか？ This sentence can also be used for buses by changing the first train to bus. バスは何時に出ますか？ By the way, at the bus stop there are timetables. This style is uniform throughout Japan. And I mentioned earlier, buses can be delayed due to the unpredictable traffic jams. Because of this, buses may not leave on time like trains. Now let's practice 3 times after me. 電車は何時に出ますか？電車は何時に出ますか？電車は何時に出ますか？ Next is the pronunciation from my friend.
電車は何時に出ますか？
Good job! That's all for today. If you want to share a recording of you pronouncing like my friend on YouTube, please register your email address in the description. An email will automatically be sent to you. Please write I wish to publish on YouTube in this email. I will reply with you how you can send your voice recording to me. Thank you very much for watching until the end. See you next week. Bye.